You are about to enter a great adventure.
This is Strutting from Gorilla.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Strutting from Gorilla. This is Mikey Cash back in the big boy chair, and with me, as always, is my co-host with the most, Big Vito. Big Vito,
what up?
Good to see you.
I'm excited. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling today.
All right, but before we do that, let's remind all these jabronis that are listening where you can find us on the socials. On Facebook, it's at SFG Podcast. Twitter and TikTok at @from_gorilla. On Instagram at SF Gorilla Pod, and you have our website struttingfromgorilla.com. Big Vito just posted a new article up there a few weeks ago. You guys should check it out, talking about the territories. We're going to be revisiting that soon. And one last little plug: if you happen to be listening to us on Apple Podcasts, feel free to leave us a 5-star rating and review. We could really appreciate it. Now, without further ado, we're going to have one of our IRL episodes here, and in real life. You know, we've been covering a lot of superstar spotlights, talking about the past, but we're going to be looking forward today, talking about some of the bigger wrestling storylines as we head through the summer here. We're going to be talking about Vince, we're talking about the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, talk a little bit about Ric Flair's 15th retirement match, the Jeff Hardy situation, and then there'll be other things sprinkled in. So let's jump into it, Vito.
You know, Mikey, I'm always ready to jump right into it. And I think just before we get started here today, Mikey, I want to point out that I'm on my third or fourth different microphone. So I'm hoping that we sound a little bit better today. I thought we did a great job with the Rock episode. It was a really fun episode to do. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, you heard like the Minotaur grunting in the background and breathing. And so we're going to have a clear, crisp, fun episode today. So yeah, I'm ready to go. I just want to point that out to everybody that we're really trying to work on quality here. We got some reviews, you know, and that was the feedback we got. So we're always trying to improve here at Strutting from Gorilla.
So yeah, we don't want Vito to develop a complex that he doesn't sound good on the podcast.
No, not at all. You know. So what do you want to talk about first? I mean, I think we go right into the Vince thing.
We have to, right? It's arguably the biggest news in the wrestling industry right now.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is I saw someone, and I think it was Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona. Yes, I think he posted something the other day that was really funny, and it said ECW WCW has finally won the invasion. And,
yeah, it was. What was it? It was like, oh, the Alliance won after all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen. You know, the allegations against him obviously are not great, and
nope.
You know, if that's something he did, and they come through and find out, obviously, you know, it needs to be handled the right way, and unfortunately, it will tarnish his legacy and all of that.
Yeah.
But without making light of that situation, there have been some pretty hilarious memes that have been out there that I've actually really enjoyed.
It's been good. The meme game is strong with the internet on this news.
Oh, it's been real good. And yeah, I'm curious to see what happens here, because, you know, if this was Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair or, you know, Stone Cold or anybody, what would WWE do?
Well, what did they do when Hogan came out with a porn? What did they do with the Dark Side of the Ring episode? Nothing. Nothing. Really.
Yeah, no, they erase them from history when they do this type of stuff, and it's like proven guilty. It's not going to happen to Vince.
No,
it won't.
But dude, but it's all temporary. Like what they do is all for show. It's let's cancel them with the rest of the culture, and then who hosted WrestleMania 2 years ago? Hulk Hogan. So it didn't. It ultimately amounted to nothing.
I know. I'm curious to see how this all pans out. I mean, how did you feel about him coming on SmackDown?
Oh, it was definitely him just basically giving a giant fuck you to everything. That ultimately you can't touch him, which is
Yep.
makes me not like him actually, because it comes off like he's really not taking any of it seriously,
Agreed. Yeah.
and
I mean,
that pisses me off because it's like, yeah, we can like, yeah, the memes are funny and all that stuff, but like on a serious note, but the board, so his own board is investigating him
I know.
about this. Like that's the interesting part. And maybe that's a Nick Khan thing and the shareholder thing. I don't really, I can't pretend to understand the ins and outs of that. But the bottom line is they investigated, and not only did they find the NDA from 2019, which if people aren't aware, there was an article published by the Wall Street Journal about all of these allegations of misconduct with Vince and John Laurinaitis, Johnny Ace. All right. So, and they did some further research, and it wasn't just this 2019 paralegal situation, but there was multiple NDAs that got discovered. So in my head, I'm like, there's no way he didn't do something, because there isn't, you don't just have records of those for no reason.
Yeah. My question is this: why this girl, and why now? Like, what? He's
Who knows?
been in this business for how long? And you're telling me this is the first time something like this has come to light out of all of these years?
Mm-hmm.
Something's fishy about it. Whether it's fishy on his end, and this has happened before,
Right.
or maybe there's something else to this situation that we don't know about. I don't know.
Right. Like you wonder, did somebody leak this information because somebody just had enough?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. The guy's like what, 80? Like, does his dick even
He's
work still? Like,
76.
yeah,
Uh,
I would think like, why now? Why not when he was in his, you know,
it might
40s,
have been
50s?
happening then too.
Maybe,
Because
I don't know.
this all led to us there was some weird report where apparently now him and Linda hadn't been together in years.
Yeah,
This whole thing, but he was like
yeah,
with her when she was running for Senate. So like
yeah.
there's this weird, it
Well,
feels
wasn't
very
she?
House of Cards right now.
I just assumed she was still in that coma that she was in when she was in that wheelchair.
She got up and she's gonna kick him in the nuts and
Yeah,
on public television again.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, man.
It's really weird, isn't it?
And it's a bad look for wrestling right now when the wrestling economy is in a good spot to some degree. I will tell you, I think SmackDown had the best ratings they've had in a long time. People say it was because of Roman Reigns. I don't think that was the case. I think it was because people saw the whole Vince thing.
Oh, I mean, it was like a day after that news, so it
Yeah,
makes perfect sense. There was probably a ton of people tuning in that would have never watched SmackDown and
yeah.
just tuned in because they read the allegations, so they wanted to see what he was going to try to say on
Yeah.
TV. But
Now, how did you feel about the standing ovation the crowd gave?
it makes everybody look like fucking morons
I know,
because they're
I
like,
know.
yeah, you sexually assaulted someone, but we're just gonna bow down to you, like the
Yeah,
fucking sheep. Then it's so stupid,
I
like
know.
because and I think that's almost like what he wanted, and that's what like I really can't wrap my head around that. What possessed you to think this is a good idea? And he's so obsessed with this, any marketing is good marketing, any publicity is good publicity kind of deal, and that's not a good look, dude. Like
No.
he reminds me of his buddy number 45 over there being a fucking dink. Like it's true. That's a page right out of his book.
Oh, 100%.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I
Like
know.
just laugh in the face of it, not take it seriously, and by proxy, other people aren't going to take it seriously either. That's a calculated move.
Yeah. No, I agree in that aspect of it. But you know what? He's been operating on that, any publicity is good publicity for a long time.
Yeah,
Like a long time. I mean,
you're right.
look at the 90s, in the late 90s. It was
Hmm.
all controversial stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, the
Um,
parental groups were trying to censor him back. What was it, in 98, 99, and
yeah,
it just made people want to watch it even more.
I know.
So there might be a situation here where that's going to happen too, but I'm curious if this stepping down is going to be a permanent thing rather than temporary. It's
Yeah.
just, it's the, there is a weird timing piece of it when I think about Stephanie stepping in as the CEO. Because
Yeah.
that actually was a surprise to me that she would be the one to come in. For some reason, I guess it's not really a surprise that it wasn't Triple H, because I think we thought that for a while, and then over the last like 2 years and him into his heart issue and all what they did to NXT, I almost feel like that was like the way of saying it's probably not going to be you to step in. But I don't know. I guess maybe I thought Shane might come back or something like that. But hey, but good. I'm happy for Stephanie. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad move. It's a PR move, but
yeah, but I don't understand, because we hadn't talked about this yet, but she had just stepped down to take some time off, which is even stranger to me, because there was no real reason why, or we didn't know why she was doing that. And it's very odd to see all of a sudden she takes this leave of absence, and then boom, like a week later, she's now, oh wait, I'm back, and now I'm interim CEO. Like it, I mean, at the end of the day, Vince is still going to be running everything, and it's all just
This stepping down even is more of a PR move, because he says, I'm not going to be CEO, but I'm still going to be backstage. I'm still going to be involved in the creative. So the only thing that's changed is his title.
I know. The only good thing that would have come out of this for wrestling fans would be if that Vince really did have to walk away. We could see what the WWE would be like without Vince McMahon there, which would have been kind of cool. But I don't know. I wish
don't know either.
I hope the truth comes out, and I hope the justice is served in the right manner. But it's Vince McMahon. It's WWE.
He's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of power, and it's gonna be hard for him to probably get held accountable, truly, for whatever actually happened.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it does pan out. So,
could you see Johnny Ace being the one that ends up taking the fall for a lot of this? Because
100%.
I almost feel like it's already set up that way, because I don't really know what his role in it is, but there's like he's involved in all of these allegations. So I just, from whatever I've read, like I can't get a clear picture of what his role is, but he's like there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was like setting it up, like if he's got a Ghislaine Maxwell situation, like what was she? Is he like just setting these girls up for Vince, of what the hell was going on?
I don't know. Like, and this is kind of messed up, but I picture Vince McMahon and Johnny Ace as like a tag team, just tagging each other in.
Gross.
I know.
Fucking gross.
I know.
And you know what I think too? Like for some reason, I'm just thinking about like Johnny Ace. He's married to the Bella's mom. So like
is he? I didn't even know.
So they're all Vito. Do you not watch Total Bellas? Come on, dude.
I'll be honest. It's not on my viewing list.
Fine then. All right.
Yeah.
Well, not all of us can be winners, folks. All right. Okay. But yeah, so I only know that from watching that show. But I mean, I'm just curious, like how that family is affected by all this. What's going on? But
yeah, I know.
That's a whole nother thing. But it was just there's so many ripple effects to this news and what it means for wrestling, what it means for the culture of wrestling. It's been needing to change for a long time. And despite WWE saying how much they value the women and the women's revolution and all the kind of the bullshit that they spew out, they're still very behind in a lot of ways.
Agreed.
I don't know. I think this is related to it. I don't have the words to articulate just how, but I believe they're connected.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how all of it really pans out. I know I've said that a few times, but we'll wait to see how things kind of come to fruition.
And maybe Nick Khan is really the one behind the alliance. I don't know. Maybe Nick Khan is the one pulling all of this because he wants to take it over. Who knows? I think that's been some of the rumor, is that it's like a power play from Nick Khan to kind of get this whole thing going.
Yeah, and then maybe they'll find out that Nick Khan and Tony Khan are actually, related. And then,
oh my God, is Tony Khan Tony Khan's gonna bust in the middle of a board meeting?
Yeah, All I picture is, remember when Vince came out in the Ministry when he had
Yeah.
that like
It was
hood
me
on?
all along.
It was me all along.
It's like the opposite. Tony just buys WWE.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh God.
honestly, I could see if something did come out, them selling to like Disney or NBC Universal or
Right.
something like that.
Oh,
But
they definitely would.
yeah, I know it would be again. It'll be really interesting to see how it all
Yeah.
pans out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm happy though that as a wrestling fan, we have options that
Yeah.
are not just WWE anymore. You
Yeah.
know, and that really makes me feel good. On another subject which we can talk about in a minute here. I can't tell you. I'm thankful for AEW. I'm not sure they're at the level that I thought they were at some point. Again, you fall into this trap somehow
Mm-hmm.
where you try to almost do too much. And I still enjoy AEW. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
really, really do enjoy it, and I think it's awesome, and I would continue to watch it. But they just have to be careful because you don't want to, you don't want to repeat history. That's all. That's all I'll say.
You sound like someone who the shine has worn off a little bit with AEW.
I think
The novelty of what they represented, and
I think we've talked about this though, Mikey, where it's they had a lot of those big surprises where people would come
yeah.
in and that wears off after a while, and you can only do that for so long. And
Mm-hmm.
now I think they've done some really good things with how they've booked matches and everything like that, but it's not perfect by any means.
No,
Um,
it's not.
no, but I'm happy they're doing what they're doing. And overall, I give them a B plus.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm with you in that there's for the wrestling overall, I enjoy.
Yeah,
The stories, I'm kind of 50-50 on because
yeah,
I don't for some reason I'm like I can't always get fully invested, and maybe that's because there's a little, to me it comes off like there's some inconsistency with AEW about their stories and their investment in certain stories. And that's something that WWE does too. Like they have a little commonality there. Sometimes, oh, it seems like they're putting some energy into the story and then you don't hear about it. Or you get like a very brief vignette, something that's like so it's almost so minuscule that like you can blink and miss it. And so
yeah.
then you have like 2 weeks without it, or they do something on Dark or Dark Elevation. And to be quite honest, I really don't know who's watching that. I don't. I watched it in the beginning here and there, but I do you watch it? I just don't. I can't find the time to invest in it. And they're saying that those stories matter and kind of play into what happens on Dynamite. That's like it. In some ways, that's oversaturation, just like WWE to me. Like there's too much to watch, and nobody has enough time to watch it.
I
So
that
people are going to be missing things.
You just hit on it. There's too much to watch, and people don't have time to watch it. What made AEW great at the beginning is these stars that they had
Yeah.
were homegrown,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a small amount of them for their 2-hour program, and then they
Yeah.
would have some great pay-per-views. They almost have too much talent, and it's hard for them to keep focus on a specific storyline. Like, I'll be honest, I really enjoyed the MJF CM Punk storyline because it
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't one and done. It was spread out, and it was a good storyline. You could invest time into it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I knew what I was investing in. Now it's just kind of spread out all over the place. They're bringing in all these ex WWE guys, and it's like they don't have time to get everyone on the show. Never mind. I like the
Yeah.
fact that I was seeing talent that I've never seen before become
And
stars. You know?
right. And I think now those people are just on Dark, which is almost the equivalent of Velocity and Heat to me. Like
Right.
they feel
Right.
meaningless.
Right.
Despite what they're saying, it still feels meaningless because rarely does it get promoted on TV.
Mhm.
So if you're not even promoting it, how do you expect me to want to like invest my time in watching it? Even if there might be like a banger of a match. I heard like Ruby Soho had a banger on Dark, but who the fuck is watching it?
Yeah.
Nobody is around. You
Even
know,
Rampage, Mike. Even Rampage is tough.
Rampage can get hard sometimes. You're right, but I think you hit it on the head. There are a lot of bigger stars coming in, and that's and I don't want it to sound like what happens during WrestleMania time when like part timers come in and we get all
I
pissed
know.
off.
I
So
know.
I don't want to sound like that. I think they need to be a little careful though, because part of like their whole promotion was that like we want to have, it's almost like the land of opportunity, that whole thing they used to talk about with SmackDown. Like you do want to give these folks an alternative. If I'm just turning the channel and I'm seeing the same person that I watched 2 months ago on SmackDown, that's not variety.
Agreed.
You
Agreed
just
there.
put a different jersey on.
I know.
It's not that different. And I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth too, because at the same time, I really like what John Moxley's doing.
Yeah.
I like his team up with Danielson and with Regal. Like I just like those dudes. And I do think those guys in particular have done a pretty good job of working with some of the younger stars. I think that's been one of the things that has made that work for me, is that they're purposely incorporating the younger guys. You know, they
Agreed.
come in and they have these like these really intense matches, you know, like it's and I think it's sort of to show that these younger guys have another side to them, to kind of bring out a mean streak, anything like that. So I enjoy that. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. Listen, there's a lot of highs and it's easy
Mhm.
to pick on the negatives with AEW, but I'll say that overall I'm just happy that someone is at a level closer to WWE than like,
For sure.
all of the other promotions were,
Yeah.
and they have money backing them and all of that. And I just hope they continue to listen. It's never going to be perfect, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the one thing I don't understand is you have this megastar in Kenny Omega that you haven't seen him in almost a year. Like
I know. A
I
lot of
I
injuries.
don't. But forget about the injuries. He could still come on TV. He could still talk. He could still be the face behind the uh what do they call themselves, the elite, right?
Yeah.
Like he could still come out and be part of that.
Mm.
um I'm curious to see how that works, because he's arguably one of their biggest stars,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um he
Absolutely.
might even be one of the best wrestlers in the game right now. He could be the best. And it's like, how are you going to put him on the shelf for that long? Even in just put him on TV.
Well, do you think maybe he doesn't want to? Maybe he's like, I want,
Maybe.
in his mind, he might be thinking, why do you, if I can't even wrestle right now, what do you need to be devoting time to me on a mic that could be taken from somebody else?
When Stone Cold was hurt, what happened?
That
Like
was
when he
1997.
I
This
know
is
that, but
2022.
you got this guy gaining steam, and think about it, when he was champion and he was the champion of all three promotions, that's when
I think
AEW
you're
was really.
underestimating people being able to remember him. I mean,
Yeah,
they're not going to
maybe.
forget. I mean,
Maybe.
you just remembered him. He hasn't been
I
on
know.
TV for all that long.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you're right.
And
Maybe you're
every
right.
time you see the Young Bucks, who do you think by association?
Yeah, I know. I know.
I know
I
I'm right.
agree.
I know I'm right. That's fine.
Yeah, okay. All
That's
right.
fine.
Whatever you say, Mikey.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
whatever
right.
you say,
That's
Mikey.
right. That's
Um,
right. Oh, I want to hear that all the time in my life, but it just doesn't happen.
but
Thanks, Vito.
no, kind of segueing this though,
Yeah.
because we can sit here all day and talk about this. But the other thing that I'm a little confused about right now,
Mm.
and is the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, right?
Right.
And I'm gonna throw this out there. I think it's a great idea. I'm gonna tell you the execution of it right now hasn't been fantastic, because as a fan, I can't tell you that I watched a lot of New Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know a lot of these wrestlers. And I think for the common wrestling fan like myself, who, you know what, I would consider myself a bigger fan than just someone who comes in and watches wrestling. Like, we know behind the scenes, we try and pay attention, we're reading stuff on the internet,
Yeah.
we're watching for the most part on a weekly basis. Like, I'm more educated than a normal wrestling fan, and I don't know who these people are. Like, and I'm not saying that because I have anything against New Japan. I don't watch it. They I think could have done a better job explaining who some of these people are that these wrestlers are going to fight
Mm-hmm.
at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, to give me some background, because right now I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, it's John Moxley versus who, and this person versus who, and I don't know who they are, and I don't feel invested in wanting to see that pay-per-view.
I totally agree with you on that. I when I first heard about this pay-per-view, I was excited because I thought this is good for us as wrestling fans. It exposes us to something different. Just like you were saying before, like we have options, and so this feeds into that. But something else is we're also unfamiliar. A lot of American wrestling fans, outside of the hardcore fans that are mostly making up the audience at AEW shows, we don't know. So we're not like super familiar with it. So I wonder if maybe they could have done something a little different where they could say, all right, this person was on Dynamite tonight, Hiroshi Tanahashi, right? Maybe working with New Japan, they could do something where, all right, you use YouTube, use it to your advantage. And New Japan has their own streaming service. You can like talk about that. They could also, on their YouTube channel, sometimes they'll give free matches, I think on like Mondays or something. Use that to spotlight the person that's probably going to be on Dynamite.
Yeah, or even just
You
do
could go
like,
on and get more familiar with them, and or like little vignettes of who they are and their background in New Japan and what they mean. Even if you put that on YouTube, people might watch it, or put it on your Twitter. Like you can use social media too to get people familiarized with the talent that's going to be on there. And it's not it's not a knock against them. It's just that you don't know what you don't know.
No. And these guys, you know what? We could go into the Forbidden Door and they could put on an unbelievable show.
I
and
bet
I'll
it
be
will be
excited
really.
about it. You're right. It just needs to be like even little like highlight videos of, hey, this guy's been in New Japan. Give us a little background. Tell us some of the feuds he had and what was important. Like I don't know anything. It's just kind of like these guys coming in and they could be the best wrestlers in the world, and I have no idea at this moment. So, and here's the thing: it's all matches like that. If it was just a couple of those matches sprinkled in, then you could kind of understand who each person is. But it's literally AEW versus a New Japan wrestler for the entire show, right? Pretty much. That's from what I get out of it.
Honestly, with the exception of, I think Thunder Rosa is fighting Tony Storm, but even the way they're promoting Tony Storm is former Stardom, which is a female promotion, I think, based out of Japan. So, so even that way they're trying to do it. But yeah, I think they could have promoted it a little bit better to get us more familiar with the people that are going to be on the show.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, so okay, we'll see what happens there.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, one person I've heard a lot about is Tanahashi. I remember when you listen to JR's podcast, when I listened to it a few years ago, and at that time he was doing the commentary for New Japan on Access TV, and he was doing it. He was like doing just commentary of, I think, like older shows, it seemed like, and that got him kind of familiar with the product. And he did commentary for a Wrestle Kingdom show, and he just like was gushing over Tanahashi as sort of like their John Cena, like he's their guy. So it'll be cool to watch him, and so like he's the only one I'm really super familiar with.
You know what we're gonna have to do? We might have to bring Anya back on. She was very vast in the New Japan world. I bet you she's stoked about this. I haven't talked to her in a little bit, but I guarantee you she's stoked about this. And she would probably come on here. She'll give us in-depth analysis on every New Japan wrestler.
Oh my God, how did we not think of this? All right,
I don't know. We might have to.
Maybe we'll have her on for a review of Forbidden Door.
Yeah, we might have to. Yeah, we might have to. But no, I'm excited. I think at least they're trying new things, right? It's not the same old thing over and over again. And you know what? They're not going to be perfect. So we'll see. I have hope that's going to be good. One thing I have been intrigued by, and your boy might be getting worked over here. I don't know, but this whole MJF thing, and look, I'm biased. I love MJF, and you can say all the things you want, but the guy just gets eyeballs on him, and I enjoy. Like when he's on TV, I'm like, wow, I'm going to enjoy this segment. Like,
right.
I'm curious to see what happens. Like, so again, I'm sure people listening to this podcast know the situation, but he had this promo, pipe bomb, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. And it was pretty crazy. And we haven't heard from him since. They took all his merchandise off, and work, no work. I don't know. We haven't seen him or heard. We haven't heard a peep. Like, you'd think they would capitalize on that momentum, even if it wasn't.
Those are the things that make you wonder: is it actually real? Because they're not only are they removing the merch, but they're not even mentioning it.
And they haven't mentioned him really.
No, not at all. Wardlow is kind of doing his own thing, but yeah, we haven't heard anything about MJF. I'm just as curious as you are where this is going to go. But my one question I have is, why now? Why this is 2 years out from his contract being up? I
don't know.
What benefit do you have from like fighting this contract now? Why not let it continue to run, build your momentum, and then cash in for a big payday at the end of that contract when you try to re-up?
That's what makes me feel it's real, Mike, is that
I know,
like there was no need to do this. Like, he was already on that lightning bolt.
The rumor mill says he wants big money, the money that Danielson's getting, Moxley's getting, those kind of guys.
That would make sense. That would make sense if he was really pissed off about it, because right. I mean, quite honestly, he's probably a bigger draw right now than all of them.
Oh, sure.
For AEW. I mean, when we went to to AEW Dynamite, he didn't even wrestle, like, and I was disappointed. Like, he was the big reason I wanted to go. And
I know
he didn't wrestle. And like, I'm curious to see how that pans out too, because I don't know if it's real or not, but regardless,
listen, the boys got to get paid.
I just couldn't
get paid. I get that part of it.
I can't see him fitting in WWE. Like, his style, the way he does things. I
totally could see him there.
I don't know, man. I don't think he'd have the freedom to say some of the stuff that he says on AEW. I just don't. I don't. But again, who am I to say? Because Cody Rhodes, what the hell, guy has been killing it.
My mind, because I think we didn't think that was going to work either, and he's
a different breed,
thriving more in WWE than he did in AEW.
He's a different breed, though. Like, he's a different breed, and I'm trying to think who MJF reminds me of. Like, he's just that heel that will say whatever he wants, and it's great. It's fantastic. I'm trying to think who he reminds me of in WWE, like back in the day, and I can't pinpoint.
There's, to be honest, there's ways he cuts promos that remind me of old Paul Heyman, like in ECW, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but it's not at a great comparison. But there's some things about his intensity and the things that he says remind me of what Paul used to do back in ECW. Yeah. Not when he was in WWF. That was that's a different Paul Heyman. But that old one, I feel a little bit of that.
Yeah.
He's got stretches of Pillman in there too, and some of the things that he says, cadence wise, intensity wise. But I don't know. It's really interesting, like, where this is going to go with him. But I think he's probably going to end up getting paid, because I would imagine Tony would rather pay him than have him go to WWE at this point.
Yeah,
because that's a huge ratings draw. He's a young guy. That's somebody you can continue to build around. And maybe by the time he gets paid, Jericho will finally be, the Jericho Appreciation Society will be retired. I just can't stand him right now. As much as I love Jericho, I'm like, enough, dude, enough. I don't need another 20-minute segment with you.
No, I agree.
I can't do it anymore. I'm like so fed up with Chris Jericho at this point. Like, thank you for everything you've done, but get the fuck off the screen for a little while. Like, just go tour with Fozzy. Like, figure something out. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
I
having, I'm
know.
just having issues. I'm having a lot of issues today, Vito.
No, well,
Okay,
listen.
so forgive me.
Speaking of issues, since we're on AEW, might as well continue with this stretch.
You can talk about
Um,
Jeff Hardy.
of course, I'm going to talk about Jeff Hardy. I mean, listen, I thought he was fucked up when we went to go see him. I said it like
He
5
might have
times.
been. Now
Dude,
I have to I have to eat my words because I think I
yeah,
actually defended him. I was like, he looks fine, and I don't know why. Why was I of all people be the one that's like, he looks fine?
yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was like, guys, he doesn't look good. And you guys are like, oh, he's just old. He can't be doing this stuff anymore. I'm like, I don't know. You don't just miss the top rope like when you're trying to walk on it. Like,
Oh my god! I did you see the video?
no.
So there's a video of the arrest out there,
Oh,
and
I haven't seen that.
it's like just almost like embarrassing to watch. It's cringeworthy watching him because he's in the car and he's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's awful. And like apparently while he was driving there were multiple calls to 911 about somebody swerving all over the road and shit, which is just like, dude, there's no excuse for that shit.
No, and you know
Like
what?
these guys, I'm not saying he's like $1 billion athlete, but what I'm saying is he's got enough money to either call an Uber or to have some sort of driving service for the day. Like that, I think he could swing that. I would imagine.
Yeah, but you know what? Listen, for years and years and years, I know if we go back in the archives of our podcast here, at some
Mhm.
point, we have knocked WWE for how they have treated their past wrestlers. And you know
Yeah.
what? They got this one right.
Do you know? I hate to actually agree with you on this, but I think that whole remember the whole incident that led to him being fired, and we thought
Yeah.
maybe he was faking it, and he said he was faking it. Maybe we. It seems like we were wrong. It seemed like he was actually fucked up. They offered him. He said no. They fired him. He left. Came to AEW. Things were okay, and now here we go again.
Yeah. So I gotta give credit to WWE for saying, hey, you know what? We're gonna take the action and tell you need to get help.
Mm.
You're not gonna do it, then
So yeah.
see ya. And you know what? It's probably the rare circumstance that they got it right. And I just listen. We'll knock WWE a million times.
Right.
I
But
we
acknowledge
got to give
when
them
they do
credit.
something well too. To quote
Yep.
Roman Reigns, acknowledge them.
Acknowledge them. Yeah.
I
So
just feel
I
bad for Jeff, dude.
feel
Like
bad
it's
for all of them.
yeah, like it's awful. And
How do you,
it's like you're angry with him because you're like, that's fucking dangerous, dude. You could have killed somebody. And
right?
or yourself.
Yep.
And but also you're trying to be like empathetic with the addiction too, because like that's no joke. But
Nope.
fuck, there's also got to be accountability. Like
I
both are
know.
true.
I know. I agree. And you know what? It's sad because unfortunately it's put a damper on their last little run that they were going to have together. And we got to see a little bit of them versus the Young Bucks, which was a cool dream match. I think we had at 1.2, and again, it didn't live up to everything that we wanted
No.
it to, but they're older. Um, and I don't know. I wish him the best. I do, and I hope he figures it out. And I'm glad Tony Khan put out a little press release the way he did. And
They had to. They had to
I
do
know,
something.
but for some reason it comes across more genuine from him. For some
Mm.
reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's not. I don't know, but it just seems more genuine when he puts something like that out versus WWE.
No, I hear you. Yeah. So hopefully Jeff is getting help somewhere. I don't know if he actually went into treatment yet, but I hope he goes. I really do.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And
And I don't need him to wrestle again, but I hope he
no,
gets treatment.
nope. I hope it all kind of works out. But kind of segueing again,
Let's do
we
it.
talked about Cody. I want to talk back about his debut because we haven't had. I mean, we talked about his
No.
debut. We haven't really talked about his run, and I want to give credit, dude, because I think we both kind of were like, oh, going back. I don't think we're the only ones. I think every wrestling
Yeah.
fan in the world
Skeptical to
was,
say the least.
yeah. And you know what? I've been very happy with everything that's gone on.
Yeah.
Pleasantly surprised. I think his feud with Seth Rollins has been pretty good. I think they're a great fit for each other when
Mhm.
they wrestle each other, and they're both great on the mic, and they've done a good job. And God, the moment where he wrestled with that torn pec is just
Dude,
like,
that's like a
yeah,
legendary moment for him.
it is. It is. It was. Did you see his
It was
chest?
swollen. Everything was
Yeah.
swollen. His arm was swollen.
Yeah.
It's I can't imagine how painful that actually was to wrestle with. I
No,
don't know
me
how he
neither.
did that.
No, me
And they
neither.
put on an unbelievable match. Like the whole
Mhm.
story was the injury, so it was just natural. Like you already had a story point, like for you already had psychology for this match.
Yeah.
Is the injury with the pec, and they worked it masterfully.
Oh, they did awesome. I'm shocked they let him go out there and wrestle, to be honest.
I was too. It sounded like he was really pushing for it, and they just let him go. And now look, it's like they did something. I thought Sports Illustrated did something on him for it. Like they did an interview with him about it because they're like, it now like this is up there with like one of those all time performances of like athletes performing injured and still just killing it.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it is also choreographed, so it's not like I'm sure they
It
changed a
ain't
few
ballet,
spots.
Vito.
Yeah. Look, I'm not discounting him, but it is a little bit easier when you can work around. You have a kind of choreographed match where it's like, yeah, no high flying moves, none of this. You can do this, you can do that, but I don't know. But it was still pretty cool. I that's the type of shit though that WWE needed. Like they
Yeah.
need someone because the fans need to see someone who actually gives a shit about the wrestling aspect of it and what they're
Mhm.
doing and wants to be in that light, not like, oh, I'm getting a push, but I have a sore knee today, so I can't wrestle. Like this guy's going out there with a torn pec, step up to his level.
Absolutely. It's grit, and people respond well to that.
They do.
You
They
know.
do it. They do. So I give them credit on that. And I thought for sure he was just going to get buried. I
Hmm.
thought it was just going to be another PR move, but they've held to their word, and I'm
Yeah. They've
curious to
given
see.
him a lot of freedom from what I've seen. It's kind of remarkable actually. And maybe
I
he's negotiated a piece of that and good for him then.
Yeah, but I think one of the things Vince said to him, from what I've read, is that it's like, hey, great job, you left here, you did what you needed to do, and now we want you back, and this is what we're going to do for you.
Yeah.
And it's one of those rare circumstances where I think he did it the right way, and that's got to be tough for him, man. Like leaving the company that he
Hmm.
started like that, but there's clearly some stuff we don't know in AEW that he
Yeah.
wasn't agreeing with, and I'm happy that it's panning out for him the way that it is, and it's sad that he has to take a little hiatus here. But even with the hiatus, I think he's put himself in a spot where he's going to come back and have a good shot at being a top star there. And
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So to be the yin to your yang on this, let's
Yeah,
jump to someone who I don't feel is doing very well, and that's
yeah,
Rowdy Ronda Rowdy. Or as Kurt Angle used to call her. Do you ever listen when he used to do that? He would call her Rowdy
yeah,
Ronda
yeah,
Rowdy
yeah.
instead
Of
of
course he did.
Rousey. It
Yeah,
was so good. He
yeah,
just got too excited. But
yeah.
anyway, Ronda Rousey, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all. Her promos are fucking awful. I mean, you could do a better promo. Bobby Stone could do a better promo than Ronda Rousey.
I just don't think here's the thing that I don't understand. I think she brings a level of uh, authenticity to the women's division because of her background in what she did. And that has kind of faded off a little bit. Because, I mean, think about it. She's literally one of the top women UFC fighters of all time. And she brings that, and it all of a sudden you start facing her, and you all of a sudden get that same treatment. Where I don't think all of like there's a few wrestlers that you could say, the Charlotte Flairs, the Becky Lynches of the world, the Oscars, right, that have that already built into them. But you start wrestling her and staying at her level, she brings that realism of like, I'm a bad bitch to it.
Mhm.
But I think at the same time, she doesn't have the passion for professional wrestling that a lot of other people do. So it's a tough mix, and she's not good on the mic. She's terrible.
No.
But I did laugh. What was the quote that I told you she said about the women's division in WWE?
Oh, it's all cupcakes and hand jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
And that was good. And
it was good.
But you know, that was, I don't even think that was on TV.
It was on
No.
it was on a radio show or something.
So when she was
yeah.
relaxed, she could actually pull something like that. And that's the point.
Yeah.
She has the ability to pull this stuff, because she did the same thing with the YouTube video a few years ago at the build up to that big main event with Charlotte and Becky. She was saying some similar things and just ripping into people, and she was like natural. But when she's out there, it's like a deer in the headlights, and I don't know what's going to help her with that.
I know.
Does she need like a manager?
Yep, you nailed it. Imagine Paul Heyman being in her corner.
Somebody.
Even I'm telling you, Paul Heyman would be perfect. It's basically she's Brock Lesnar in on the woman's side. Like, she comes in when she wants. She's got this, she's like the feared woman who.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I still think she brings this authenticity to her about, hanging and being a tough woman because of her background, and they can utilize that. I really think they could. Does she deserve to be the champion right now? Probably not. But I think you put her against Rhea Ripley, put her against Bianca Belair. It's just a whole different ball game, and I agree though. Her promos are tough to watch. They're brutal.
I mean, it's saying something when I think Natty pulls a better promo, and I've always had trouble with Natty's talking, but I'd rather hear Natty pull a promo than Ronda at this point.
And again, I don't know that she needs to be someone who's a full-time wrestler there, but if you can make her matches kind of special against some of these women, it just adds a whole nother layer of. And as long as she's not burying people like Brock Lesnar likes to do.
Bobby who?
Yeah, I know. It's insane. But no, Mike, I don't disagree with you there. I'm not sure they're handling that the greatest way possible, but it is what it is.
Right. Exactly. We can complain about it all we want, but ultimately she's there. She's doing her thing. In-ring work is great. I don't have any. My issue has nothing to do with the in-ring work, because I think that's she works a really good match. It's just the promo thing, but it takes away from her mystique when she talks, and she talks poorly. And that's why, like you said, the manager thing. Somebody. I always thought maybe Paige. Have a female manager. Paige can cut a hell of a promo. Like, she didn't need to be wrestling. She could just come out and be the mouthpiece. Sure. And as Ronda's just this fucking assassin that's going to come out, I'm going to dominate, and I don't need to say a word because my in-ring work speaks for itself.
Sure. Yeah, I think that would be great. Or even Edge's wife, Beth Phoenix.
Oh, Beth Phoenix. Yeah.
That would be a great one.
Right. Right. And that could build to something between the two of them too at some point.
Yeah. But do you think some of that has to do with the Sasha and Naomi angle too? Not necessarily Ronda Rousey, but like Sasha's obviously was not happy with how she was being booked, and they ended up walking out, right? And I wonder if, she wasn't getting what she basically thought she deserved. Because listen, she's like the Shawn Michaels or Bryan Danielson of the women's division, right? She can work, man.
She's a fucking legend, dude.
Yeah, she can work. She might not be the biggest woman on the roster, but she can work.
Dude, and look at what she's done. She's the youngest of that whole 4 horsewomen. She's younger than Rousey, and she's main evented 2 WrestleManias. She's killing it. She was in Star Wars, dude. She was in The Mandalorian. Like, that's a big, that's nothing to sneeze at.
No. No. Yeah, what do you think happens there? Like, obviously she got released, but
we don't even know. Apparently I think they're working on it. Is their whole all of this stuff is rumors, so I guess we have no real idea. But I think this wasn't that whole thing with Sasha and Naomi. I don't think that happened in a vacuum. I don't think this was just a one thing. like the report is about this show and them changing some tag team match and all of this shit. I don't think it was just that. I think this was it was probably a long time coming
Yeah.
where she didn't
Yeah.
feel like things were being booked right. And mind you, I think a lot of her issue that day was about the tag team titles, the women's tag team, and saying, well, why are you going to have us fight each other? If the plan is to set them up with, I think it was like Dewdrop and somebody else, and it was like, well, if we're gonna fight them, why not just have us fight them? Why not why not put us in another tag match where they come in and interfere and start something? So her issue was how the tag titles were being booked, and this was a callback to something a couple years ago when her and Bayley were tag champions, and she didn't feel like they were being treated well, and she took time off then too.
Yeah.
And she was gone for a little while and then came back. So I think this is not the first time she's dealt with kind of that bullshit. And to be honest, she's kind of right, because that very night where they walked out and they said they were unprofessional and did a real great job of making themselves look good, they said, oh, we're going to have a tag team tournament for the women's tag titles. That was a month ago. Have you heard anything? I haven't heard a goddamn thing. So where's the lie in what she was taking issue with? She was fucking right.
No,
they weren't treating them well.
The positive out of this is if she does get released, I feel like she would be a fantastic fit for AEW with the way she wrestles, right? Like she would help bring some legitimacy to that women's division that, they need more time. Like they need more, they don't get enough credit. Like
do they have enough people? Like, is it going to be another situation like we just talked about? It's more people, not enough time. So who's going to get who gets the spotlight?
I know. Yeah. No,
but it would be good.
Right.
But at the same time, I also want to see her fight Britt Baker. I want to see her against Toni Storm. I want to see her against Serena Deeb, Hikaru Shida, Nyla Rose. Like there's so many people there. Chris Statlander. There's a ton of women in that division that she could kick ass with. You're right. I poo-pooed it too early, Vito. I'm sorry. Put it too early, Vito.
Poo-pooed.
Poo-pooed.
No, again, we'll see what happens. It's one of those things that listen. There's been a lot going on since we have done an in real life episode. Like there's a lot, and unfortunately, we're talking about a lot of negative things in the universe.
So do we end this with the Nature Boy? And
I mean,
or would that go negative too? You think?
That's definitely negative. Listen, the Nature Boy. I think I put it best this way. I love him. He's got a legacy. He's one of the best of all time. You could argue he's on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people gave a shit when we didn't put him on there, but you know what? Someone needs to put this dog down. That's the best way I can say it. Like, you are, God, what is he, 75?
76, I think.
Yeah. And almost died like a few years ago. Like, I think he's reached senile status to some degree. And I don't care what Ric Flair thinks about the current state of wrestling. Like, I really don't. To be completely honest with you, he says a million things, and I disagree with most of them. The guy was a legend in his time, one of the best wrestlers I've seen. Enjoyed every minute of him. I don't want to see him out there with his flabby titties, trying to smack somebody. And who the hell is he going to wrestle? Like, what match is possibly going to be good?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't want to see it.
It comes off feeling like a money grab. Have you looked at the prices on Fight TV?
It probably is. The guy's been broke since forever. Maybe I got an idea. Instead of spending money on limousines, jet planes, and Rolex watches, how about you save your money, invest in a 401k?
How about
that, Ric Flair?
You know what, Ric Flair? I'll pay for you to go to a financial management course. How about that?
Yeah. How about that, Ric Flair? Let's talk about that for a minute. But he I don't want to see it. I thought his last match in WWE against Shawn Michaels was legendary. I had tears in my eyes. Like, just
Yeah.
let it be. You are a legend. Like, I'll give Hulk Hogan credit to some degree at this point. He's kind of gone in the sunset. He has his stupid,
His beef shop.
Hogan's hangout and everything, and he promotes it. Fine, you should. It's your business and whatever. But like, your time of saturation on TV and being a public icon is over. Just enjoy the status you have and do some good with it.
Right. Go to some conventions, get things signed, sell stuff for what it is there, and just like live with it. Or do like little indie shows. You can do that. Be a manager for someone. Come out there. You could do it.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe if he gave you the same line Bret Hart did, thank you for remembering your heroes. I'll say that one too. I'll say that. Well, I've worked on it because I've said it a few times. Because honestly, it's one of the most enjoyable. It's one of the most enjoyable lines you gave me. So, he got one
of the best days of my life, and that's all he said to me.
I bet it was, but it's time. His time has come. It's gone. Just go away. You got a rap song about you. You got a documentary. Like, we're good. We're good with all of that.
I think there's another one coming out soon.
There is, probably. I don't know.
I mean, how much more is there to say?
I don't know.
We really sound like those dudes from the Muppets today. We were fucking crotchety. Usually the mornings are pretty good for us, but I don't know. Something happened today, folks.
No,
we were not on the right side of the bed today.
We were due for one of these episodes. I think we just had a lot of
built up
negativity. Yeah, and God, we didn't even get into NXT 2.0 and how just terrible it is.
We don't need to. People already know if you watch it. It's largely not great. But anyway, so what do we end this on today, Vito?
Well, let's end it on this. Let's end it on this, Mike. Right? Like, this will be my final words, and you can send us off into the sunset here. Yes, we covered a lot of in real life today. Yes, we're catching up with some of the negative stuff that's going on. However, I will give positive where positive is due. Roman Reigns has been a great champion. They've done a great job with him. And I think there's a lot to work with in the wrestling. I said it last episode. I'll say it again. John Cena said that the state of the wrestling economy is in a great spot, and I agree. I think it is, and I'm excited to see where things go. And anytime things start to go up, you get under a microscope. Little things like, and I'm not going to call it little, but things like the Vince McMahon situation, it all gets amplified, right? And I hope they continue to use this momentum and really build some stars. And I'm excited to see where it goes. And we'll see. And we'll see. I've enjoyed watching wrestling. I'm going to give a shout out to the Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I don't know if anyone on here subscribes to it, but I do, and I love it. It's great. It really gives you some insight now that there's more than just one program out there. You can actually, I've learned a lot about some people that I didn't know existed in the wrestling world. So
that's great.
I've enjoyed that magazine. I just want to give them a shout out because it's been good. It took a little bit to get them because I think they had some production issues, but they're coming hot and heavy now.
That's great. Well, riding on the positivity train to end this, on the caboose of this train, some positivity.
Choo choo choo.
All right, little diesel. So I would say I'm going to give some people a recommendation for a show to watch. It's Impact. They just had their Slammiversary show. Is 20 years of Impact. It was really good. It was a really fun show from top to bottom. They had they kind of did like their ECW originals, their Impact originals. They had a lot of cameos throughout the night, and surprisingly, WWE let AJ Styles record something, and it was really cool. I think that is acknowledging positivity where it's due. They let him come do it, and I think that was really great. You can tell it meant a lot to AJ to talk about just how he basically the foundation of his career was at Impact, and the work that eventually led to him being who he is in WWE. So I would say people need to check that out. Even for that moment alone is great. The crowd loved it, and they have a Queen of the Mountain match. So it's like the King of the Mountain match, that big ladder match. is pretty fucking badass. There's some awesome spots in that match. So check that out. That's my positivity for it. Check out Impact. They're the little engine that could.
I just want to point out, because years ago, I think when we talked about starting this podcast, I'm going to say this. I said, "Hey, Mikey Cash, check out Impact. It was TNA at the time. I'm like, it's actually pretty good." And you were like, I don't know. But looking back now at those, that there's certain periods of time, and now that you have the app that you've checked out, it was pretty decent, right?
It is pretty decent.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get the credit it deserves because they're smaller. And I think they've finally started to, accept who they are in terms of the wrestling business, because for a couple of years they were trying to compete with WWE, and I think that set them back for a little while. So now they finally sort of come back around, and this is who we are. We have this fan base. We're going to feed this fan base. And it's actually growing a little bit because I just got into it. So now, and it's part of what you said earlier. We have more things to watch. So if I'm not getting what I want by watching SmackDown, Raw, NXT Level Up, Heat, Velocity, Main Event, Superstars, then I can watch Impact. I'm sorry, was that enough shows? Was that enough WWE shows?
You named them.
So, Saturday Morning Slam. I forgot about that. So, any last thoughts, Vito? Or are you good?
No, I'm good. I just say, I know we got, one of the episodes I'm really excited about that I know is going to take a little bit of time is the Death of the Territories. It's going to take a little research from us. So be ready for that one. That one's going to come out soon. And, as always, I'm really excited about, the way wrestling's going right now.
All right. Well, without further ado, keep watching wrestling, and folks, until next time, keep strutting.
We now return your perception of reality to you. Until next time.